Can start. Is everyone ready? Can we start? Can tell me it will be good.
Yeah.
Can okay. So we read till page 138 of the book yesterday, and we will continue from there. The paragraph is fast forward almost a decade. So that is where we will all continue from. Hope you are ready. Let's go. Fast forward almost a decade. TiVo continues to have the best digital video recording product on the market. Its unaided awareness continues to be through the roof. Nearly everyone knows now what the product is and what it does. Yet the company's future is by no means secure. While millions of viewers may say they TiVo things all the time, unfortunately for TiVo, they aren't using a TiVo system. Rather, they TiVo shows using a digital video recorder provided by the cable or satellite company. Many try to make the argument that TiVo's failure was due to the cable company's superior distribution. But we know that people often go out of their way, pay a premium, or suffer an inconvenience to buy a product that resonates on a visceral level with them. Until recently, people who wanted a custom Harley Davidson motorcycle waited upwards of 6 months to a year to take delivery of their product. By any standard, that's just bad service. Consumers could have walked into a Kawasaki dealership and walked right out with a brand new bike. They could have found a very similar model with similar power and maybe even for less money. But they suffered the inconvenience willingly, not because they were in the market for a motorcycle, but because they wanted a Harley. TiVo is not the first to ignore these sound principles and won't be the last. The meager success of satellite radio technologies like Sirius or XM radio has followed a similar path. They offered a well publicized, well funded new technology that attempted to convince users with a promise of rational features and benefits. No commercials and more channels than the competition. Throw in an impressive array of celebrity endorsements, including rap star Snoop Dogg and the 1970s pop icon David Bowie. And the technology still didn't stick. When you start with the why, those who believe what you believe are drawn to you for very personal reasons. It is those who share your values and beliefs, not the quality of your products, that will cause the system to tip. Your role in the process is to be crystal clear about what purpose, cause, or belief you exist to champion and to show how your products and services help advance that cause. Absent a why, new ideas and technologies quickly find themselves playing the price and feature game, a sure sign of an absence of why and a slide into commodity status. It is not the technology that failed, it was how the companies tried to sell it. Satellite radio has not displaced the commercial radio in any meaningful way. Even when Sirius and XM merged, hoping the joint force of the companies would help change their luck, shares for the combined company sold less than 50 cents a piece. And last time I checked, XM was offering a discount, a promotion, free shipping, and a claim of being America's number one satellite radio service with over 170 channels to push their product. Give the people something to believe in. That's what we are going to read now. On August 28, 1963, 250,000 or 250,000 people from across the country descended on the mall in Washington, D.C. to hear Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. give his famous I Have a Dream speech. Very famous speech. The organizers didn't send out 250,000 invitations, and there was no website to check the date. How did they get a quarter of a million people to show up on the right day at the right time? During the early 1960s, the country was torn apart by racial tensions. There were riots in dozens of cities in 1963 alone. America was a country scarred by inequality and segregation. How the civil rights movement lifted an idea that all men are created equal to become a movement with the power to change our country is grounded in the principles of the Golden Circle and the law of diffusion. Dr. King was not the only person alive during that time who knew what he had to change to bring about civil rights in America. He had many ideas about what needed to happen, but so did others, and not all of his ideas were good. He was not a perfect man. He had his complexities. But Dr. King was absolute in his conviction. He knew change had to happen in America. His clarity of why, his sense of purpose gave him the strength and energy to continue his fight against often seemingly unsurmountable odds. Unsurmountable means very, very difficult to cross, very difficult challenges he overcame. There were others like him who shared his vision of America, but many of them gave up after too many defeats. Defeat is painful, and the ability to continue head on, day after day, takes something more than knowing what legislation needs to be passed. For civil rights to truly take hold in the country, its organizers had to rally everyone. They may have been able to pass legislation, but they needed more than that. They needed to change a country. Only if they could rally a nation to join the cause, not because they had to, but because they wanted to, could any significant change endure. But no one person can effect lasting change alone. It would take others who believed what King believed. The details of how to achieve civil rights or what needed to be done was debatable and were debatable. I'll say it again. The details of how to achieve civil rights or what needed to be done were debatable, and different groups tried different strategies. Violence was employed by some, appeasement by others. Regardless of how or what was being done, there was one thing everyone had in common: why they were doing it. It was not just Martin Luther King's unflappable conviction that was able to stir a population, but his ability to put his why into words. Dr. King had a gift. He talked about what he believed, and his words had the power to inspire. I believe, I believe, I believe. There are two types of laws, he shared: those that are just and those that are unjust. A just law, Dr. King expounded, is a man made code that squares with moral law. An unjust law. So, all of this is a quote of what Martin Luther King Jr. actually said. An unjust law is a code that is out of harmony with the moral law. Any law that uplifts the human personality is just. Any law that degrades human personality is unjust. All segregation stat all segregation statutes are unjust because segregation distorts the soul and damages the personality. His belief was bigger than the civil rights movement. It was about all of mankind and how we treat each other. Of course, his why developed as a result of the time and the place in which he was born and the color of his skin. But the civil rights movement served as the ideal platform for Dr. King to bring his why, his belief in equality, to life. People heard his beliefs and his words touched them deep inside. Those who believed what he believed took that cause and made it their own. And they told people what they believed. And those people who told others what they believed, what they're trying to say, if it's confusing, people heard Martin Luther King, they told others, that others told others, that told others, like a game of Chinese whispers, if you know, something like that. Some organized to get that belief out more efficiently. And in the summer of 1963, a quarter of a million people, that is 250,000 or 2 lakh 50,000 people, showed up to hear Dr. King deliver his I Have a Dream speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. This is live in person, not a YouTube video. But how many people showed up for Dr. King? Zero. They showed up for themselves. It was what they believed. It was what they saw as an opportunity to help America become a better version of itself. It was why they who wanted to live in a country that reflected their own values and beliefs, that inspired them to get on a bus to travel for 8 hours, to stand in the Washington sun in the middle of August to hear Dr. King speak. Being in Washington was simply one of the things they did to prove what they believed. Showing up on that day was one of the what's to their own why. This was a cause, and it was their cause. Dr. King's speech itself served as a visceral reminder of the belief shared by everyone who stood there listening. And that speech was about what he believed, not how they were going to do it. He gave the I have a dream speech, not the I have a plan speech. It was a statement of purpose and not a comprehensive 12-point plan to achieving civil rights in America. Dr. King offered America a place to go, not a plan to follow. The place had it the plan had its place, but not on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. So he inspired them first before telling them what exactly to do. Dr. King's articulation of his belief was something powerful enough to rally those who shared that belief, even if they weren't personally affected by the inequalities. Nearly a quarter of the people, means one fourth, nearly a quarter of the people who came to the rally that day were white. This was a belief not about Black America. This was a belief about shared America. Dr. King was the leader of a cause for all those who believed what he believed, regardless of skin color. So, this is Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech on equality. There was a lot of uh, between black and white colored skin. There was a lot of discrimination in America at the time, and this is the whole context for that point. It wasn't the details of his plan that earned him the right to lead. Mhm. It was what he believed and his ability to communicate it clearly that people followed. In essence, he, like all great leaders, became the symbol of the belief. Dr. King came to personify the cause. To this day, we build statues of him to keep that belief alive and tangible. People followed him not because of his idea of a changed America. People followed him because of their idea of a changed America. The part of the brain that influences our behavior and decisions does not have the capacity for language. We have trouble saying clearly, in emotional terms, why we do what we do and offer rationalizations that, though valid and true, are not powerful enough to inspire others. So, the long sentence it has given, but he's saying that we are not able to express the emotions properly enough to inspire others. So, when asked why they showed up that day, people pointed to Dr. King and said simply, because I believe. More than anything else, what Martin Luther King Jr. gave us was clarity, a way to explain how we felt. He gave us the words that inspired us. He gave us something to believe in, something we could easily share with our friends. Everyone at the mall that day shared a set of values and beliefs. And everyone there that day, regardless of skin color or race or sex, trusted each other. It was that trust, that common bond, that shared belief that fueled a movement that would change a nation. We believed. We believed. We believed. Part 4, how to rally those who believe. Rally means get together. Start with why, but know how. Okay. So we have understood the why. Then what is the next step? Know how. Energy excites, charisma inspires. Charisma means like a very good personality, in simple words. Rah! With a roar, Steve Ballmer, the man who replaced Bill Gates as CEO of Microsoft, bursts onto the stage of the company's annual global summit meeting. Ballmer loves Microsoft. He says so in no uncertain words. He also knows how to pump up a crowd. His energy is almost folkloric. He pumps his fists and runs from one end of the stage to another. He screams and he sweats. He is remarkable to watch, and the crowd loves it. As Ballmer proves, without a doubt, energy can motivate a crowd. But can it inspire a population? What happens the next day or the next week when Ballmer's energy is not there to motivate his employees? Is energy enough to keep a company of 80,000 people focused? In contrast, Bill Gates is shy and awkward, a social misfit. He does not fit the stereotype of the leader of a multi billion-dollar corporation. He is not the most energetic public speaker. When Bill Gates speaks, however, people listen with bated breath. Bated means like they hold their breath. They really want to hear what he's saying. They hang on his every word. When Gates speaks, he doesn't rally a room, he inspires it. Those who hear him, though, excuse me, those who hear him take what he says and carry his words with them for weeks, months, or years. Gates doesn't have energy, but Bill Gates inspires. Energy motivates, but charisma inspires. Charisma means charming personality. Energy is easy to see, easy to measure, and easy to copy. There's a full stop is there. Energy is easy to see, easy to measure, and easy to copy. Charisma is hard to define, nearly impossible to measure, and too elusive to copy. All great leaders have charisma because all great leaders have clarity of why and, and an undying belief in a purpose or cause bigger than themselves. It's not Bill Gates' passion for computers that inspires us. It's his undying optimism that even the most complicated problems can be solved. He believes we can find ways to remove obstacles to ensure that everyone can live and work to their greatest potential. It is his optimism to which we are drawn. Living through the computer revolution, he saw the computer as a perfect technology to help us all become more productive and achieve our greatest potential. That belief inspired his vision of a PC on every desk to come to life. Ironic, considering Microsoft never even made PCs. It wasn't just what computers did that. Gates saw the impact for the new technology. It was why we needed them. Today, the work he does with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has nothing to do with software, but it is another way he has found to bring his why to life. He is looking for ways to solve problems. He still has an undying belief, and he still believes that if we can help people, this time those with less privilege, remove some seemingly simple obstacles, then they too will have an opportunity to be more productive and lift themselves up to achieve their great potential. For Gates, all that has changed is what he is doing to bring his cause to life. Charisma has nothing to do with energy. It comes from a clarity of why. It comes from absolute conviction in an ideal bigger than oneself, in an ideal which is bigger than me. Energy, in contrast, comes from a good night's sleep or lots of caffeine. Caffeine is like the chemical which is naturally present in coffee and tea. Energy can excite, but only charisma can inspire. Charisma commands loyalty. Energy does not. Energy can always be injected into an organization to motivate people to do things. Bonuses, promotions, other carrots, and even a few sticks to get people to work harder. For sure. But the gains are, like all manipulations, short term. So, carrot and stick means reward and punishment, not literally carrot and stick. It means rewards and punishments. Over time, such tactics cost more money and increase stress for employee and employer alike, and eventually will become the main reason why people show up for work every day. That's not loyalty. That's the employee version of repeat business. Loyalty among employees is when they turn down more money or benefits to continue working at the same company. Loyalty to a company trumps pay and benefits. And unless you're an astronaut, it's not the work we do that inspires us either. It's the cause we come to work for. Hmm. We don't want to come to work to build a wall. We want to come to work to build a cathedral. I think this is, I'll say it once more. We don't want to come to work to build a wall. We want to come to work to build a cathedral. Note this down, we'll discuss this, what this line means. The chosen path. Raised in Ohio, 60 miles from Dayton. Dayton is the name of a place in America. Neil Armstrong grew up on a healthy diet of stories about the Wright brothers. Wright brothers were the first people to fly an aeroplane. From a very early age, He dreamed of flying. He'd make model airplanes, read magazines about flying, and stare at the heavens through a telescope mounted on the roof of his house. He even got his pilot's license before he got his driver's license. With a childhood passion that became reality, Armstrong was destined to become an astronaut. For the rest of us, however, our career paths are more like Jeff Sumter's. Sorry. Uh, Sorry, just give me a second. I closed my book by mistake. Sorry. Hmm. Raised in Ohio, I'll start again from the part. Sorry for that. Raised in Ohio, 60 miles from Dayton, Neil Armstrong grew up on a healthy diet of stories about the Wright brothers. From a very early age, he dreamed of flying. He'd make model airplanes, read magazines about flying, and stare at the heavens through a telescope mounted on the roof of his house. He even got his pilot's license before he got his driver's license. With a childhood passion that became reality, Armstrong was destined to become an astronaut. For the rest of us, however, our career paths are more like Jeff Sumter's. While Sumter was in high school, his mother arranged for him to get a summer internship at the bank where she worked. 4 years after he finished high school, he called the bank to see if he could do some part time work, and they eventually offered him a full time job. Whammo! Jeff's got a career as a banker. In fact, after 15 years in the industry, he and a colleague by the name of Trey Most went on to start their own bank, Lewis and Clark Bank in Portland, Oregon. Sumter's very good at what he does. He's been on one of the top performing loan officers throughout his career. He's well liked and well respected amongst his colleagues and clients. But even Jeff will admit that he doesn't have much of a passion for banking per se. Though he's not living out his childhood dream, he is passionate for something. It's not what he does that gets him out of bed every morning, it's why he does it. Our career paths are largely incidental. I never planned to be I never planned to be doing what I'm doing now. As a kid, I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer, but in college, I set my sights on becoming a criminal prosecutor. While I was in law school, however, I became disillusioned with the idea of being a lawyer. It just didn't feel right. I was at law school in England, where the law is one of the last truly English professions. Not wearing a pinstriped suit to an interview could hurt my chances of getting a job. And this was not my cup of tea. I happened to be dating a young woman who was studying marketing at Syracuse University. She could see what inspired me and what frustrated me about the law and suggested I try my hand in the field. And whammo! I'd gotten myself a new career in marketing. But that's just one of the things I've done. It's not my passion, and it's not how I define my life. My cause to inspire people to do the things that inspire them is why I get out of bed every day. The excitement is trying to find new ways, different whats to bring my cause to life of which this book is one. Regardless of what we do in our lives, our why, our driving purpose, cause, or belief never changes. If our golden circle is in balance, what we do is simply the tangible way we find to breathe life into that cause. Developing software was merely one of the things Bill Gates did to bring his cause to life. An airline gave Herb Kelleher an airline gave Herb Kelleher the perfect outlet to spread his belief in freedom. Putting a man on the moon was one goal. John F. Kennedy used to rally people to bring to life his belief that service to the nation and not being serviced by the nation would lead America to advance and prosper. Apple gave Steve Jobs a way to challenge the status quo and do something big in the world. All these things have charismatic leaders. All the things these charis sorry, all the things these charismatic leaders did were the tangible ways they found to bring their whys to life. But none of them could have imagined what they would be doing when they were young. When a why is clear, those who share that belief will be drawn to it and maybe want to take part in bringing it to life. If that belief is amplified, it can have the power to rally even more believers to raise their hands and declare, I want to help. With a group of believers all rallying around a common purpose, cause, or belief, amazing things can happen. But it takes more than inspiration to do become great. I mean, do is wrong here. I think it should be, it takes more than inspiration to become great. Inspiration only starts the process. You need something more to drive a movement. Amplify the source of inspiration. The golden circle is not just a communication tool. It is also it also provides some insight into how great organizations are organized. I'll read it again. Amplify the source of inspiration. So the golden circle is not just a communication tool. It also provides some insight into how great organizations are organized. As we start to add dimension to the concept of the golden circle, it is no longer helpful to look at it as a purely two-dimensional model. Two-dimensional means like x and y axis. if if it is to provide any real value in how to build a great organization in our very three-dimensional world, the golden circle needs to be three-dimensional. What they mean to say is, if you want to build something which is not just on paper, not just theory, but in the real world, that is, paper is two-dimensional, real world is three-dimensional. So how to apply the golden circle in the real world? The good news is it is. It is in fact a top-down view of a code. Turn it on its side and you can see its full value. It's 9:40. I don't want, there's a new concept. Maybe let's not start there. So we'll complete till here. So till page 151, we can stop. Okay. So can we start the discussion? Who would like to go first? Yeah. Devamma, Nikhil, Devamma, please start. Would you like to share something?
Yes, uh, uh, inspiration is, I think, inspiration is the start of our
Hmm.
work or what we want to work towards. Inspiration is very important. We should be inspired to
Hmm.
work for what we want to and what we want to get. We should work towards it, and and what
Anything, it doesn't mean ki you have to be right only, ki what was said in that only. Don't worry
yes,
about it. Whatever is in your heart, you say. Don't worry about the technical things and all that. Just say your heart, like speak for maybe 1 minute. Just whatever is in your heart, you speak. Even if you're
yes,
saying a little bit wrong English or something, it's okay. We will learn it slowly, slowly. But speak, like we can get in the habit of speaking. You can call me
and
Vinita. We don't need
okay,
to
sir.
call, so that's okay if you don't want to.
And believe is very important when we want to uh, believing is believing. We
Hmm.
should believe ourselves first
Hmm.
when we start our work, and yes, so that's it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Nikhil, anything you would like to share?
Biggest words are inspirational to the people.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
The Bill Gates words are inspiration to the people. People, if Bill Gates says words, the
Yeah, I'm listening. Bill Gates
can
said what people, and then
people hear people hear very
oh,
energetically. People can hear very energetically.
right. So what the author said is that Bill Gates was a very shy person. Okay, means shy means like he couldn't talk much. He was like a nerd. Like he was not good with public speaking
Introvert.
or something. Yeah, introvert. Exactly. Thank you so much, Devama. That's a very nice word. He was like an introvert, but he had charisma. Charisma means like very charming personality. So even though like he was not like, yeah, come on, yes, let's do this. No, little shan, mellow type of person. But whatever he said, no, people were like, okay, listen with pin drop silence properly, full attention, and they will really think about it, reflect. That is what is charisma. Okay,
Yes.
so I will tell you one more line from the book, and I want you all to tell me something about it. There was this line is that we come to work to build a wall, but actually we're not building the wall. We're trying to build a cathedral. What is the meaning of it, and what can we learn from that?
I haven't understood that, sir.
Okay, so what it says is it's the cause we come to work for. We don't want to come to work to build a wall. We want to build, we want to come to work to build a cathedral. A cathedral means church. You all know what is church, right? Where Christians go to
Yes, sir.
is called a
Yes,
church.
sir.
And so, like a big church, an old church is called a cathedral. So, what he's saying, I'll read it again. It's the cause we come to work for. We don't want to come to work to build a wall. We want to come to work to build a cathedral. I'll give you one more example, okay, of the same concept. Uh, Three people are there. Okay, three people. They are
Yes, sir.
all work. They are all. They make roads. Okay, and airport road. In the airport, there is this runway they will make on the
Yes,
flight.
sir.
If you have seen in any movie or if you have been in a flight, there is a runway where the plane will go like this and then it will take off. So one person is asked what you are doing. He's like, oh, I don't have any money. I needed some money. So I am doing some whatever work. Someone told me, he put me here. My uncle, someone, he brought me and he put me here. So I'm doing whatever is told I will do. Okay. Then the other person was asked, okay, what are you doing? He said, I need money for my family and all that. So I have a job. This is my duty. I am doing my duty. I'm trying to do good. Whatever I can do, I'm doing. Now the third person was asked, what are you doing? He said, I am building a platform for my country to take off. See the difference? All the three are doing the same work. They're just building a road. But the vision of all the three people is very different. One person is thinking, "Ke, I am building the next technology of my country." Imagine how happy, how inspired his work will do. Even in the work
Yes,
he
sir.
will be doing, it will be much, much better quality than the other people. He will make less mistakes. He will try and see that there is not even any potholes, nothing perfect as much as possible. So that is what they say. We are not coming to work to build a wall. We are coming here to build a cathedral, means church. So church is made up of walls, right? So the
Yes,
in,
sir.
the inspiration, like if someone is like people who build temples, like so devotees they come, they build temples. So for them, it's not just a building. For them, it is like, oh, this is where our God is staying. So the feeling is lot more. They will put in lot of effort and lot of love and lot of care for every small thing. So it is a difference between going and eating food in a restaurant and going and eating food in your home, which your mother has lovingly made. Maybe restaurant food is little bit more tasty in some technical way, very fancy, something they got from America, something they get from Japan, something they get from Korea, all over the world they get. But after eating that for 3, 4 days, you ask anyone in the whole world, okay, maximum 2, 3 weeks they will eat that. Then they will say, we need some home food because it is that feeling, no, that love which the mother is giving, that affection, that
Yes, sir.
we want to put into it. So I have explained this. Now I want both of you to tell me a little bit on this because I will not keep on speaking. So the Nikhil first. Now I explained this point. Now you tell me some example what you think around in this.
Sir, I understood. Not about not a common thing. It's about affection.
Hmm,
Affection, sir.
right.
Not a common thing. It's about
Hmm.
affection. Anything.
Yeah, say. I'm listening. You are saying something, Nikhil? Nikhil, you are saying something. I'm listening. Nikhil, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You were saying something. Were you saying something more, Nikhil? Or you finished saying? Nikhil, did you finish speaking? Are you done? Ho gaya?
Sir.
Yes or no? Okay, no problem, no problem. Devamma, something you would like to share?
Yes, sir. Mm,
Please share. We are all listening.
mm. If if we are working in
Okay,
if the work
anything you want to
okay,
say,
sir.
like in the whole what we read today, if you want to say about anything else also, we are all very excited to hear you speak.
our work should be which is useful to our society, which makes helpful for with who needed help, and it should be um, to get over rid of their problems, and and
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
something.
Yeah, yeah, Nikhil. What are you saying?
Thanks.
Nikhil, are you trying to say something? Okay, never mind. So my question is, according to the paragraph, is it enough to just have inspiration? Is there any next step after that? So he said, before the what, you figure out the why. Okay, means why you want to do something. Before you think what you will do, you figure out why you will do it. Meaning, for example, let's say you're doing BCA, right, Devama? So before you figure out okay, uh, what job you want or something, or what you will do after this, according to the author, what he's saying, you think why you want to do it. Okay. So now let's assume you have thought of the why. So for whatever reason, now this reason is your why. I want to help people. I want to do this. I want to build something for society. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
enough? According to the paragraph? Is that enough? What?
No, sir. We should continuously working towards it, if you want to successful, or which is which makes perfect for the society. We should
Correct.
continuously work towards it, sir.
Correct. And how is also important. Let's say your goal is to run a marathon. You know what is a marathon?
Yes, sir. Running race like that.
Correct. It's a running race. 42 kilometers you have to run. Okay. In a stretch. Traditional full marathon is 42 kilometers, which you have to complete. In one shot, you have to complete it. So if you are running a marathon, so you have to be fit, no? Now imagine if you eat samosa, vada, okay, then which sweet you like? Which is your favorite sweet?
Mysore Park.
Mysore Pak. Every day, 1 kilo of Mysore Pak you eat, 10 samosa you eat. You think you will be able to run marathon in your life
No,
ever?
sir. No, sir. Definitely not.
Definitely not. What about you, Nikhil? Do you think you will be
Sir.
able to run
No, sir.
after eating 1 kilo Mysore Pak and 10 samosa and 20 vada?
No, sir. Definitely.
It's not possible, right? So after the why, the how is important. Why we want to do, we have figured out. Okay, let's say I want to run marathon to raise awareness about having a green environment. Okay. Now, how will I run the marathon? Every day I have to train. I will maybe start with some 1 kilometer, then two, then five, then 10, then 21, then 35, then 40. That way, slowly, I will increase my stamina. The how is also important. So now with why we have got full energy, inspiration. Come on, let's do it. But the next step is how will we do it? So that's what the author is saying. The what comes later. First is the why, then you do the how. What else did you understand something from today's paragraph?
Mm, we should get some boosting words, or boosting words like that, sir. We should praise our work like that. We should that should makes us to work more and more to
Right,
get that.
correct. Makes you work more and more. And will you work more and more when you're happy or when you're sad?
Happy. when we are happy, then only we want to work.
Correct. Nikhil, is there anything from today that you didn't understand or you would like to ask or you would like to discuss? Any words, any phrases, any topic, anything like that, Nikhil? See, this is an open class. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to say, Ki, I didn't understand anything. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. We will take it one line at a time.
I understand some words about why.
Okay.
Always started with why.
Always under the why, right? Anything you want to ask more, anything which will help you. So the more you speak, the better it will be for all of us. Because then you will also get the practice, you will get confidence. So anything you want to share more or anything you want to ask, maybe something you didn't understand and maybe you can ask and we can go over that. We have around 4 minutes more.
Sir, how can I improve my language, sir?
How can you improve your language?
And also, I I cannot quickly learn. I I cannot quickly learn, sir.
No, you can't quickly learn. That is true. It will take time. Okay. So it's like the marathon. You if you're running 1 kilometer today, you cannot say okay, in 1 month I will be able to run all 40 kilometers. It will take some time. It's you have to do little every day. That is the secret of success in any field. It is
And
called
also new thoughts. I cannot explain thoughts. New thoughts are not coming.
it will come. You have so one way is if you like uh, if you see any movies, do you see movies? If you listen to music, start seeing English movies. Don't see the
Okay, sir.
like, see the good ones. Okay, there are good English movies also. So
Okay,
see
okay.
English movies on YouTube. If you see like National Geographic or something, listen by listening. A language is learned only by listening. But what is your mother tongue? May I ask, Nikhil?
Telugu, sir.
Telugu. Okay. Someone came and taught you Telugu like this, reading every day. Did your mother and father ever sit say, okay, learn Telugu? How you learned as a child? Just by listening. No, in the house, everyone must be speaking Telugu. Like that only you grew up and automatically you knew, right? At least how to speak and to think. When you think also, you will think in Telugu. Why? Because of listening. So because you listen to that Telugu language every day for a few years, then you are able to understand it very fast. So English is also like that. The more you listen to it, the more you will be able to learn. That's why we are doing this reading, this discussion. And second point is be open to learning. The more excited you are to learn, the more happy you are, then you will be able to get it. It's exactly, what the paragraph is saying in the book. Why you want to learn, then the what will follow very easily. How to do it? These are the steps. Keep practicing. Read books, listen to more and more English audios. There is this thing called free audiobooks. If you have internet access, you can listen to very nice, very inspiring, good quality content. Listen to audiobooks.
Okay, sir.
That is one of the best ways to learn. AUDIOBOOKS. So the whole book, how we are reading here, that same book, you can have the book also and listen to it also. And you will not understand everything in the first shot, but have patience. Just have patience. Slowly. Your goal should be very simple, 1% better every day.
I'm thinking to watch English movies. So the
Yeah, you can watch English movies. Watch good ones, okay, but okay. ठीक है